Go. So today we're going to be talking about the best drink for your teeth. And obviously the answer to that is water. Water is really, really good for your smile for a few reasons. Number one, it helps clean your mouth. So water cleans away food and germs that develop throughout the day. And drinking soda, juice, or other beverages can actually leave sugar behind. And when you leave that sugar behind, that allows the bacteria to stick to that tooth and then start to cause dental decay. Water also helps dilute any acids that are maybe in other drinks or foods that you've consumed. So it's really good as a mouth cleanser. And then drinking tap water is super important because of fluoride. Fluoride is key to preventing dental decay, and fluoride strengthens your teeth and can be found actually in most city water. There are some bottled brands as well that you can get fluoridated water from. We know, it's really convenient to just buy bottled water at the store and have it ready. But we want to make sure that, you're routinely drinking from your city tap water as much as you can. I understand people like filtered water and things like that, but you do need to be getting the the helpful fluoride that's been put in that water for your teeth. Our government a long time ago decided that was something that was beneficial to families. So just make sure you're doing that. I have seen a lot of the little miniature small water bottles that are more made for kids that actually have the added fluoride. And so those are really good ones to pick up as well. And again, just fill up your reusable water bottle is something we would also like to promote, is to start using reusable and sustainable items in your home. So just fill up that water bottle straight from your tap and be on the go, and then you'll always have water with you. Then third, we want to make sure that you understand that water can actually prevent dry mouth. So staying hydrated helps to produce the right amount of saliva that will then turn it in to help prevent bacteria from forming. So a lot of people suffer from an actual, I don't know if you want to call it diagnosed issue, but from dry mouth. And so their mouth is always dry. They're always thirsty. But actually drinking water can help replenish that and get your saliva back on task. And saliva is what helps us really, rinse our mouth when we're not using actual water. And then fourth, but definitely not least, for all of us healthy parents out there who all want to try to limit our calorie intake, it is calorie free. So it's a calorie free, and water is the healthy body option. Consuming sugary beverages has been a major contributor to the increasing rate of obesity in the United States, especially among children. So we want to make sure that you're encouraging water drinking, and we have some ways to really make sure that as parents, you have the information that you need so that you can encourage your children to drink more water. We know this is especially hard at that younger age when they're transitioning from bottles to sippy cups to normal cups. A lot of sippy cups you equivocate with juices and milks and things like that. But we want to make sure that if they're having a sippy cup just sitting around all day, that it has water in it. So here's some ways you can encourage at least some of your older, your walkers and your more independent children to start drinking water. And one of them is to get them a special cup that is only for them. So you can find these all over the place. You can find cups at Walmart and have your friend put vinyl on them. You can order them personalized from Etsy, Amazon, everywhere, or just find their favorite character and use that cup and tell them when they use that cup and they're drinking their water that it's their special juice and it's giving them all of the things that they need to keep their body healthy. And so especially establishing a special cup that is just for them, not something they have to share with brother or sister occasionally or anything like that. It is their cup. And then at the right age, allow them to get their own water from the refrigerator. So when they get to that height where they can reach the water dispenser in the refrigerator or even the tap water with a stool, allow them to get their own water. This encourages independence, but it also encourages them to develop healthy habits of going to the refrigerator and drinking water. And then another fun one that I really liked, and this kind of hits a lot of points that when we try to encourage parents to take care of their children's oral health care at home, we also try to get them to educate them on other areas of life as well. And this is to set water intake goals with a sticker chart and reward them when they've met their goals. So you can do this just like a chore chart. Same scenario. If you see them drinking water, oh my gosh, Thomas, that's so awesome. You chose water instead of juice. I'm going to give you an extra star. Or if you want to do the actual water goals, just like adults keep their water goals of how many ounces they've drank, maybe how many cups they've drank through the week. And if they meet their goal for the end of the week, they get to go pick out a fun small toy or a book or donate some money to a charity. You can figure out what works best for your family for that. But really encouraging them to choose water over those more sugary beverages. And then last but not least is to lead by example. As parents, we always want our children to be doing the right things, but then maybe we're not showing them the right way to do it. So if you're constantly drinking your sodas and your whatever drink from Sonic and all those things, and you're not choosing water, then they're not going to want to choose water. So try to emulate how you want them to be. So if you want them to drink water, then we highly encourage that you pick up your water bottle as well and join them in that. Continue to encourage them to choose water over those sugary beverages. I know from my family, when we go out to eat, not only does it save money, but it's also a healthier choice. We do water. So we do water only. And that's something that's a standard at any sit down restaurant. Now, if we're on the go and it's fast food and things like that, and the meal comes with a drink and you don't want to pay for the drink, but only get water, completely understandable on the go. But we do have a family, kind of rule that when we're at a restaurant, we order water. And again, that is not only a healthy option, but it's also a money saving option. So those are kind of the 4 reasons why water is good for your mouth and your teeth and your smile. And then also 4 ways to encourage your children to drink water. And I hope those were super helpful. I am going to go over 2 things we just want to touch on. We're going to do a little bit more later this month, but we know that sports activities are starting up. And hydration is key to making sure that your children remain healthy during sports activities, and also wearing a mouth guard. So you need to make sure if your children are playing any kind of sport that might have them fall or get hit in the mouth, which could almost be any sport if you thought about it, make sure they're wearing a mouth guard. This includes baseball. We've seen pop-up grounders hit them in the face, or they're trying to catch a fly ball and it comes down on their face, knocks their teeth out or breaks them. This does happen. And if they had a mouth guard, it would lessen the impact and lessen the damage done on their teeth. So we really want to encourage you to make sure that your children are hydrated, as well as wearing mouth guards during any sports activities, especially now until we get a little bit cooler temperatures. Make sure your children's coaches understand that they need to wean them into those hot temperatures. I know my son's football team is starting up, and they gradually get into their program. So they do the first 2 or 3 days with just their regular workout gear on, then they add pads, then they add helmets, and they do it in this progression to save them from heat-related illnesses as well as heat stroke. Later this month, we're going to be really concentrating on a program here in our area called the Kendrick Fincher Hydration for Life program. And I'm going to hit real quickly on what they consider a good game plan for prepping your children for that, but we'll go into it in more detail later this month. But they want to make sure you know your child's sweat rate. And this you can find on their website. It's called the Hydration Game Plan. And it says, know your sweat rate. Staying properly hydrated is all about maintaining your body's fluid balance, so there's never too much or too little. Athletes need to know how much they sweat for how much they need to drink to replace it. So the biggest thing I see with that is what you're taking out, you need to be putting back in. So if your child is a really full-on sweater, like they sweat a lot, they're going to need more water or more electrolytes after their practices and things like that than somebody who maybe doesn't sweat as much and isn't losing that body fluid. It also recommends to hydrate before, during, and after workouts. Something I thought was really interesting in a video that I watched from the Arkansas Department of Health today was they're at a lot for your older kids that are going into practices after school to make sure that they are intaking enough water throughout the day so that they're not going into their practice dehydrated. So maybe, they're getting some water in right before practice, but if they're hydrating all day with their own reusable water bottle, then they're more likely to not suffer from those heat illnesses and heat-related injuries and things like that. And then also make sure you're choosing the right beverage. Earlier we talked about water being the best choice, and that's absolutely the best choice. We want to make sure, and something that this foundation through the Kendrick Fincher Hydration for Life promotes is taking in electrolytes. So they do recommend sports drinks because they do have electrolytes in them. As your dentist, we would prefer that you choose the sugar-free option. And this would be afterwards. So you're going to replace what you lose. So this would be after the practice, a Gatorade, anything like that. But just make sure you're choosing the sugar-free, the zero option. Not only does it have electrolytes to replace your sweat, it also has flavor that will encourage them to drink, and it has carbohydrates to give energy to the working muscles. Another great thing that Dr. Courtney found, and that I know that we've kind of picked up in our house, it's a drink called Hint. It's Hint water, Hint. And they have flavored waters, which are really good, but they are sugar-free. So there's a sugar-free option. One thing we do want to make sure you're watching is that there is a caffeinated version, and we want to make sure that you're not getting that version of it. And then just make sure they're avoiding fruit juices. It slows down your fluid absorption. Carbonated beverages like soft drinks, it can reduce the voluntary drinking due to stomach fullness. So like they may think they're full, but it's actually from the carbonation. So then they're not wanting to intake water because they think that they're full. And then energy drinks should absolutely be avoided. We would like to say they should be avoided at all times because of the high sugar intake and the age of the children that we see. We would just recommend that they don't drink energy drinks at all. But we understand that you're going to make that decision based on what is right for your family. But we want to make sure they avoid those because they contain caffeine, high carbohydrate concentrations, which is going to be your sugar, and that slows the emptying of fluids from the stomach. And then last but not least on the hydration plan is to talk to your kids and make sure they understand and feel safe speaking up if they don't feel well, especially in the older ages in football and basketball. It can be seen as weak if they're getting ill, or if they're going to go tell their coach that they can't handle it or something like that. But if they are legitimately feeling ill or show any signs of feeling weak or feeling like they're going to pass out, they definitely need to let their coach or their on-site trainer know so that they can get the medical attention that they need right away. So again, not only do they need to be hydrating, they need to be doing special things and taking care of that hydration plan. And then also we want to make sure to remember that your children are wearing a mouth guard. So overall for today, we've discussed a lot of things. If you have any questions, you can go back and watch this video again. You can also email me or direct message us right here on Facebook or on Instagram, and we'll be happy to look up the answers to your questions or get you in touch with the correct person for that. I appreciate everyone watching today. And now we are going to draw for our winner of the PDAO On The Go. So for the past month, we have been collecting photos via social media and email. So remember, just because you're not seeing it on social media doesn't mean it didn't get turned in. I had a lot, like over 50 submitted via email. So we want to make sure that we are we understand that that's where a lot of the photos were sent in. And if you'll remember, everybody was given one of these. You could come by and pick them up. Or if our patients were in the office, they were encouraged to take one home. And then what we did is we took all the entries. And so some of these may be under parent names because the parent was the Instagram account. But we cut them all up into small pieces and we put them all in here. We have a lot in here. Like I said at the beginning, this bucket is huge, so it doesn't look like a lot, but it is a lot. And so now we're going to draw for our winner. And again, I may be calling out a parent's name. You may have had multiple siblings in the contest. So we just did it under the parent name so the family could win. The winner is going to win a $200 gift card to any place of their choice. Plus, we're going to put together a little basket based on the winner's age and their likes and things like that. So we're super excited about this. So I have the winning name in my hand, and I'm going to announce it now. And the winner of our PDAO On The Go contest for 2021 is Becky Nolo. So congratulations to Becky and her kids. They had a wonderful time. They took their doctor everywhere, bowling, the grocery store, ice cream, all of the places. They had a really good time this summer. And Becky, you spoil your boys. That looks like they had a wonderful summer. And I hope that that means that they're ready to go back to school, feel refreshed from taking a break and ready to go back to school. But congratulations to Becky and her boys. Becky, I will direct message you here in a little bit on Instagram, and we will get together about what we need to do about that prize and the prize pickup and all of that. But again, thank you to everyone who participated. We really think this is a fun idea. We're probably going to bring it back next summer, so be paying attention for that. It'll probably be ran the exact same way. So it's really easy. All you have to do is pick one of these up, take them with you throughout your summer and take photos with them. And that's all you have to do. So again, we want to thank you all for joining us today. We hope that this is encouraging you to make sure your family is intaking a lot of water. Also making sure that you're developing a hydration plan with your child for their sports activities, as well as making sure they are wearing a mouth guard for almost all sports. We recommend that. And then also congratulations to Becky and her boys on winning our PDAO On The Go contest this summer. And we hope we'll see you guys again next week.
Thank you so much for watching.
Make sure to subscribe and go visit us on SmilesAreWild.com.